Hi everybody, it's Cookie Lou in Arizona. I apologize. My image looks quite dark in the computer, through my end anyway, and I don't know why I have every light on in the room. But I just wanted to stop by and say hello and share a few things with you. I attended my Overeaters Anonymous meeting this evening and came back a few hours ago, and just thought I would share with you a few things. We had some new people there, and they did some readings from their book and discussed stories about how they related to some of the things they read about. And I spent my whole week reading my newcomers package, which was all these pamphlets that they gave me. And I also started reading a few chapters in this book that I purchased, The 12 Steps and 12 Traditions of Overeaters Anonymous, which has some good points that hit home with me. I did want to share with you, for those of you who might be interested, for those of you who don't like to hear me read about this, just fair warning, you can just say bye-bye to me right now. But I think that you'll find these interesting, what I'm about to share with you. Like I said, just to recap a little bit from last week, I went to New York for Easter, and I spent 2 weeks with family, and I eat what family feeds family when they have holidays like Easter. And even though I did control most of what I ate to follow the rules, I did indulge quite a bit in, well, not quite a bit, but I did indulge in pasta and pizza, and there was cakes and pastries and candies, and just enough to throw the switch so that when I came home, I continued with the desires for those foods. And I continued with the pasta and the pastries and the ice cream and the candy, and gained 20 pounds. I gained about 4 pounds with the little bit that I ate in New York, and then when I came back, I continued with the bad choices, and I turned those 4 pounds into 20. So really tough getting them off, really tough getting my mindset back on track, which led me to try a support system that's outside the community that I feel I need to help me further get back on track and stick to it. I needed a physical place to go to be accountable to physical people, and I needed to see what this organization could offer me to help my mental anguish that I have with cravings that come up when I'm stressed or upset or emotional over something stupid. So needless to say, I did like the meeting last week. The meeting today was maybe a little bit on the boring side, but some of the people were kind of dry. But that's how it is. You're going to find all kinds of people. But the bottom line is that they all have the same compulsive problems. I have a gentleman there that is just, goofy over ice cream like I am, and that's his biggest problem. And we share a lot of what happened to us during the week. He had a good week. He said he didn't touch ice cream, and I said, well, I had a good week. I didn't touch it either. And but back to the 20 pounds I gained, I'm happy to say that I did gain since I'm back. It took me, 2 months? April, May, July, almost 3 months. But I did lose 11 pounds of that weight so far, and it hasn't been easy. But I do want to share with you, like I said, I have been reading the literature, and I especially like the newcomer pamphlet, because when I was reading it, there was a lot of things in here, or a few things specifically that hit home for me that I'd like to share with you. So I'm gonna read it as quickly as I can. This particular paragraph, like I said, really struck a nerve in me. We are not like normal people when it comes to eating. What all of us have in common is that our bodies and minds send us signals about food which seems to be quite different from those the normal eater receives. Many of us can't stop once we start eating. And even if we have managed to stop from time to time, we can't keep from starting again. Some of us have repeatedly tried and failed to control other compulsive eating behaviors. So the cycle continues. In Overeaters Anonymous, we learn that we have an illness, an unhealthy condition of body and mind that can be relieved on a daily basis. OA offers a solution. We find that we no longer want to return to the foods and eating behaviors that created uncontrollable cravings. We have been released from our mental obsessions. We are able to achieve and maintain a healthy body weight. For us, this is nothing less than a miracle. We have found a way to abstain from our compulsive behaviors related to food, diets, weight, exercise, and/or body image. I lost my place. We realized that we could never recover by ourselves, so we learned to share with other OA members. Instead of reaching for food to soothe our nerves, we went to a meeting, wrote about our feelings, read some OA literature, or called a sponsor. As we practice these new and healthy behaviors, we begin to feel safe. We found a home in the fellowship and support that OA offers us. OA's 12 steps and the reaching out to help others with the same problem. We promise that if you work the 12 steps to the best of your ability, regularly attend meetings, use OA's tools, your life will change. You will experience what we have, the miracle of recovery from compulsive eating. So that type of dialogue is what makes me hope that this group might help me with my, like I said, with my mental disorder. And it's nice to know that although a lot of people out there that are outside compulsive eating behaviors and have a lifestyle where they've never had a problem with food, they feel, well, why can't you just exercise some willpower and just, get your ducks in a row and get thin? They don't realize that, like an alcoholic, people with food addictions, sugar addictions, specifically, have an illness. It's a physical something that brain connection, or whatever you might want to call it, that keeps us from being able to control our compulsive need to eat specific foods that allow us to gain weight. So this program offers an opportunity to just gather together and discuss the struggle and read the literature. They offer, ways that you can try to alleviate the sense of urgency when you want to eat something that you're not supposed to. And another small portion of a paragraph that I'd like to share also struck home with me, and it's titled Just for Today. I can do anything for 24 hours that I couldn't do for a lifetime. This was a new way of thinking for us when we came to OA. Before we looked at our whole problem, whether overweight, underweight, or unable to stop a self-destructive behavior intended to control our weight, and found the idea of changing our life overwhelming. This is too much, we thought, too big, impossible, I can't do it. Or we had a problem in life that would take much time to work through, a prospect that made today's efforts seem inadequate. Now we have learned the principles of easy does it, and one day at a time. They especially apply to learning the OA program. No one expects us to understand and practice all of the 12-step principles at once. We need take only one step at a time, one day at a time. We don't have to look at everything right now. The entire program, or all of the years ahead Of course, we realize that we must plan, but once having planned, all we can do is just act for today. So pretty much says it. And I'm going to try to put these principles in place so that once and for all I can kind of get my head in a place where I can control it. Even though I can, like I said, I've been good for months and months and months and months, and then all of a sudden, like something happens or nothing happens. It's just something that switches on, and I don't really apply the necessary strength to shut that switch down. And I give into it, I cave in, and I have to get the core of my being to strengthen up and learn how to cope with that when it happens, and learn how to not give in. So anyway, not much more to share. I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of share this with you. I hope everyone's having a good day. I had a great week. I abstained from sugar, and I really put a strong effort into eating proper food choices. And still on my veggies, totally back on my veggies and my fruit powder cure, pretty much the same diet. But I did incorporate a little dairy. I did feel that I needed to get back on my cottage cheese. So I do take a couple of spoons of cottage cheese and I mix it in with my fruit. If I want a dessert or something sweet, that's what I've been doing. And I've been making, salads with a lot of raw veggies in them, and I've been making some turkey meatballs, putting in some onions and mushrooms and chopped pepper, and they're real tasty. I haven't added the cheese that I normally do. I'm always throwing Italian cheese on everything. And because cheese is such a 100% fat food, I'm trying to just keep it out of my system. I did make something that I really, really enjoyed. I made a cauliflower pizza crust that some of you know about already. It's an easy recipe that I got from some bariatric doctor on television. Although it did require a heck of a lot of grated mozzarella cheese. So I made it as it stated in the recipe, but I'm definitely going to change it. It requires real easy, grated cauliflower. So I took the whole cauliflower and I just kind of, cut the florets off, and I grated it with a grater and put them in a bowl. And then it requires 2 cups of grated cauliflower, 2 cups of grated mozzarella, which I'm going to really eliminate to maybe a half a cup. And I think they incorporate the grated cheese in there, the shredded cheese in there, so that it kind of binds the cauliflower. And they also add 2 eggs and mix it all together, and that also helps to bind it together, so that when you press it into a glass pan or pizza, what do they call those? I bought one the other day because I think it's easier than doing the pans. It's one of those pizza stones. But if you don't have a pizza stone, just get some partridge paper and put it in. I had a rectangle glass pan, and I used that. And I put the paper in there, cut it to the size of the pan, put the parchment paper in there. I don't remember if required to butter the partridge paper so that it didn't stick, but I did it anyway. I took a little bit of little bit of margarine. I just smushed it all over the paper to grease it up a little bit, and then I put it in the pan, took the mixture, put that on top of it. I cooked it in the 350 degree oven for about 40 minutes until it was like really golden brown, and took it out, let it cool down a little bit. Then I flipped the pan over, peeled off the paper, and then put the pie crust back into the pan, and then I put my topping on that, which was, of course, a little bit of sauce, some herbs, the basil, the oregano, garlic powder. I like to use that, and I used a little bit of mozzarella, and I put that back in the oven. Oh, I sliced some tomatoes on it, fresh tomatoes on it. And I put it back in the oven until everything melted and browned up a little bit and took it out. It was delicious. But I truly feel that if I use less cheese, it would work just as fine. So maybe I'll make a video making that cauliflower pizza crust again and show you exactly how I do it. All right, 15 minutes. That's enough babbling for me tonight. So have a wonderful tomorrow. Bye.